Hello guys and welcome to Stevie TV. This is the Premier League review on game week 13. We're going to get straight into it, guys. We're going to go straight into the first game of the weekend, which was Manchester City versus Liverpool. And that game I had down as a 2-1 win for Manchester City. However, it finished 1-1 and that's points dropped for Manchester City in my opinion. 27 minutes into the game, Haaland, of all players, was the guy that broke up the score, and he got the first goal. He put it in the bottom right-hand corner, enough power on it to get it past Alisson. Alisson probably should have done a little bit better, but because of the power on the shot, he goes in the bottom corner of the net, and that made it 1-0 to Manchester City. That is actually Haaland's 50th goal in the Premier League, and the quickest to ever do it. He's done it in 48 games, and the closest was Andy Cole with 65. So, just shows the quality that Haaland has at finding that net. Next up, though, we get to the point of the second goal for Manchester City, which was disallowed by VAR. Do I agree with this decision? No. I think if you're a Liverpool fan out there and you believe this was the right decision, then you don't follow football correctly. But you're entitled to your own opinion. The referees had an opinion. VAR's got involved. And obviously the goal was disallowed. But this should be done a lot better by Alisson. The ball comes over for a corner. Akanji ends up getting close to Alisson with his right arm. And the keeper's then gone down. But then Diaz, with a tap in for the net, gets the goal. As I mentioned, the right arm was up for Akanji, and they believe that to be enough contact on Alisson, which has caused them to concede the goal, which I think is absolute rubbish. I think Akanji did not touch him enough. He didn't make enough contact, and Alisson should have done a lot better. The ball was already out of his hands before Akanji touched him, and it's a goalkeeping mistake which has led to a goal, and it cost Man City in the end, and it ended up with a point for them, and they've lost them points. Of all players to go and get that equaliser, though, Mo Salah assisted Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that was a nice little pass into the box. Arnold was in the right spot, bottom corner, bottom left, and nicely slotted past the keeper. Good finish, to be fair. You've got to give it to Liverpool. They've kept pushing and pushing. Manchester City should have wrote it off and took the chances, but they kept pushing in the end, Liverpool, and they got that equaliser. Obviously, Trent Alexander doing the usual stuff, goading in the fans, shushing him when he's got his goal celebration, and obviously made the Etihad goal a bit silent after that goal. So, yeah, that game finished 1-1, and as I say, points dropped for Manchester City. In my opinion, they were the better team in that game. Right, we move on to the next game, guys, and that is Burnley versus West Ham. I had this down as a 2-0 win to West Ham. However, it was a 2-1 win, and it proved to be quite a difficult game for West Ham. Burnley got off with a great start. They were pushing West Ham very, very well. Koleosho and Andume, however you pronounce his name, the striker, they both tried running the show. Just couldn't take the chances, really. But later on in the game, in the second half, Koleosho does get taken down in the penalty box, and Jay Rodriguez is the one to put that ball in the net and makes it 1-0 for Burnley, the unlikely team to actually go ahead in this game. But West Ham, even though they got held back, they kept pushing and pushing in the end, and their substitution made the difference with Mbama. He kept coming off the bench, and he equalised after Kudus assisted him, running down the wing and just getting the ball across the box. And a nice tap-in from Mbama. To finish this game off, though, it was a late winner once again for West Ham. And of all people, Thomas Souček at the back post, finishing it off on the volley with a great crossing. And it finished the game 2-1. And left Burnley still down there in the relegation zone and still in trouble. But very, very good signs in the attacking way. for Burnley. As I mentioned, they made West Ham fight for this game, and they probably were the better team in terms of putting up the performance and getting the attack, but they just couldn't get that result, and results is what matters in the Premier League. So if they don't keep getting these results, then it looks like it could be a quick turn back down to the Championship, and Burnley won't be in the Premier League next season by this rate. So let's see what happens with them. Right, the next game, guys, is Luton versus Palace, and I had this down as a Palace win. However, it was Luton that got the win in this one with the first home win of the season, and it was 2-1 to Luton. Kaminski, the goalkeeper for Luton, had a great double save in this game. Palace should have gone 1-0 ahead with that. However, they didn't due to the goalkeeper. And then you've also got Edouard, who had a goal disallowed by VAR due to a handball. It was definitely a handball. The ball bounces off the keeper, knocks onto Edouard's hand, and knocks it into the path of Edouard past the goalkeeper, and he taps it in. But yes, the correct decision with VAR, so that's a good point on VAR on this occasion. But VAR has got involved in a lot of decisions this weekend. As for the goals in the game, Tiedan Mengi got his first ever senior goal as a player in football. He scored his goal quite early on in the game, and Elise then made it 1-1 with a great finish on his left foot, pinged it in top corner. Goalkeeper had no chance, and for Crystal Palace, that is a bonus to get him back. So to have Eze and Elise both playing, just showing you the capabilities of the attacking side that they've actually got. That made it 1-1. However, Luton defied the odds, and Brown made it 2-1 with Ogbene getting in a brilliant crossing, and he whips it right in front of the player, and Brown gets his toe on the end of it and taps it into the net to make it 2-1, and gives the fans at Kenilworth Road a great chance to cheer and enjoy the moment. Obviously, like I said, this is their first ever Premier League win, so great result for them. Right, on to the next game, guys, and it is Newcastle and Chelsea, and this game finished 4-1 to Newcastle. I had this down as a draw. I thought Chelsea were the better team going into this game, especially on form, getting the 4-4 result against City, and they give them a very good game. However, Newcastle defied the odds, even with their injuries, and got the result. Isaac started off this game with, obviously, he's just come back from injury and a bit of a knock, so he started the game, and then he actually started off the goal scoring, making it 1-0 with a nice little tap-in, really, but it was a nice bit of football to get the ball into the Isaac's feet, and then Isaac just had a one-on-one with the keeper, finished it very well. Sterling then gets a free kick in the for Chelsea and scores an amazing free kick. Goalkeeper just stood there, nothing that he could do. I think he thought he'd gone over, however it hadn't. And then Trippier tried to reply with another free kick going the other end, however he hit the crossbar on his chance. Still making it 1-1 on this occasion. Newcastle broke the goal scoring with a 2-1 header, with Lascelles getting the header on that one, and then Thiago Silva makes a mistake for Chelsea, basically kicking the floor rather than the ball, and then Joe Linton takes advantage of that, and Joe Linton just finishes that off to make it 3-1. Later in the game, James gets a second yellow, very, very soft tackle, but it was a foul on Gordon, and it sent him off for his second yellow. And from the captain, he should be doing better. The first yellow was kicking the ball away, and then the second one was a second chance, which he didn't really need to make that contact. Just Gordon beat him and was the quicker man, unfortunately for James. He will be a miss for Chelsea now, and Chelsea will look like they might start to struggle again. But you never know what Chelsea you're going to get this season, so you don't know what's going to happen in the next game. But to finish it off and rub salt into the wounds for Chelsea, Gordon goes and gets that 4-1 goal and finishes it off very, very nicely. Takes on a couple of players and then finishes it around the player and the goalkeeper into the bottom corner. And that's a great result for Newcastle, getting the 3 points there against Chelsea. They will be enjoying that one, that's for sure. The next game, guys, is Forest versus Brighton. And this game, I expected Brighton to go and win 3-1 in this one. However, it finished 3-2. So I got the right winner, just the wrong scoreline. Forest actually opened the scoring in this one with an Elanga goal. Great finish, great header from Elanga. It's proven to be one of their crucial players this season. So for Forest, he is a bonus of a signing for him. Obviously, for United, it just wasn't enough quality, I don't think. But he's proving that he's got enough for this Forest side. And to go and get that goal, he's done very well. And then Brighton then get the equaliser in that one. Ferguson getting the equaliser. Nicely finished into the bottom corner. And keeper had no chance of reaching it. So well done to Ferguson there to getting that equaliser. And then João Pedro makes it 2-1. Gross with another cross. Great ball in, and João Pedro gets the header, nicely slotted into the bottom corner, and gives Brighton that advantage. Later on in the game, though, Forest concede a penalty. He had the hands all over the player. The player's gone down for Brighton, and then it's been converted by João Pedro, who gets the second goal of the game, making it 3-1. And it's nicely finished penalty. Later on, to add more drama to the game, Nottingham Forest was awarded a penalty. It went to VAR. It was the correct decision. The player did make contact with the striker for Forest, and it's then led to a bit more drama from the referee, who then awards Lewis Dunk 2 yellow cards within 12 seconds. Dunk not accepting his yellow card for the first one. The ref calls him back and he ignores him, and then he gets a stupid second yellow, giving them the red card for the game. But Gibbs White then converts the penalty for Nottingham Forest, making it 3-2, and Brighton had to fight till the end to get hold of the win, but they did get the result and they got the 3 points in the end. Forest unlucky, but Brighton again conceding goals at the back. Obviously, Lewis Dunk being out as well now for the next couple of games. I can't see him keeping clean sheets at all this season at the straight. But they've got the 3 points and they can't be at a loss really there, because that is what matters the most, the 3 points. Doesn't matter whether you concede or not, but it helps massively if you stop conceding goals, and it'll give you more points. So Brighton, again, 3-2. Sheffield United versus Bournemouth is the next game, and Bournemouth won this game 3-1. I had him down as a 1-0 win here. I thought it'd be quite difficult for him to go and score against Sheffield, but turned it into a 3-1 win, and that was a great win for Bournemouth. Bournemouth went 1-0 up early on, and Tavernier opened the scoring for Bournemouth. Great first touch, opened the defence apart, and nicely finished to make it 1-0. Later in the game, though, a goalkeeper mistake. I think is it Flecken, the goalkeeper? Bad mistake, didn't clear his line, and that led to Kluivert getting his first goal for the club and just pouncing on the keeper, getting the ball and making it 2-0. Nicely finished into the net. It was an open net, but it was to get the finish. It was done quite well. Tavernier then makes it 3-0, and that made it basically game over. A back post cross, and he just taps it in, basically. Nicely finished. One of the players that deserves a mention from Bournemouth is Semenya. He had a great game. He was giving Sheffield a load of trouble, and Sheffield looked poor because of this. Like, Semenya was getting so much of the ball, and as I say, Sheffield looked really bad. But they did get a consolation goal with Matt Burney, the returning Matt Burney, getting that goal, and that made it 3-1, as I say. So 3-1 to Bournemouth. Next game is Brentford versus Arsenal, and this one finished 1-0 to Arsenal. I had it down as a 2-0 win, but I got the right winner, so does it really matter? In this occasion, though, this win actually puts Arsenal at the top of the league for the first time this season. This game wasn't easy for them. Brentford did try and push and try and get chances. Obviously, Ramsdale was the keeper for Arsenal in this game. Ramsdale started this game very, very nervous, and it was showing a lot on the pitch. And the passing around near the back, and then Ramsdale makes a mistake. And luckily, Rice was on the line to clear it off because Brentford had the shot and it was going in either way. And Rice was the one who cleared it off the line. So, and saves Ramsdale from his big mistake. Later on, though, Arsenal opened the scoring initially with a Trossard header. Not a Trossard header, just a Trossard goal. And it was ruled offside. And it was ruled offside because his big toe was basically over past the player. I think it was Jesus who initially shot. And it's bounced off the keeper. But when that ball was played, he was slightly offside. Right decision, but again, it's small margins with that. Next, though, Zinchenko has a clearance off the line again. So that's 2 clearances off the line in this game for Arsenal. So Brentford were pushing, and it was a header down into the bottom left-hand corner of the keeper. And like I said, Zinchenko was the one who cleared it off the line and then kept it 0-0. Just for Havertz to go and get the late winner in this game. The back post on a header. Gets it just inside of the post and the keeper. And it bounces off the keeper and in. And like I say, puts Arsenal top of the league. The next game to talk about is Spurs versus Villa. And that game finished 2-1 to Aston Villa. Aston Villa's Champions League is very much on. They are pushing and trying to fight for this Champions League spot so far. Obviously, before the season, they probably didn't even have that as a goal. But at the minute, they must be looking at that now and starting to think, you know what, we can do this. Especially after this result. Obviously, this puts them above Spurs now in the league table. And this is Spurs' 3rd defeat on the bounce after being unbeaten up until that point. This game, though, it started off with Kulusevski with the best chance to get hit in the post. He should have really scored from the position that he was in, but he hits the far post and it bounces straight back out and Villa clear it out, which was well defended in the end. But Spurs did open the goal scoring with a Lo Celso goal. Long range shot from outside the box, deflected off Diogo Carlos, and it knocked it past the goalkeeper, which was Martinez, to make it 1-0. Enough power on there, great finish, and looked very, very good. And it looked like Spurs might actually go and get the win in this game. However, Aston Villa kept pushing. They got a goal back with Watkins. However, he was ruled offside, and that still kept it 1-0 with Spurs. But then Pau Torres, that is, the defender, does get a winning header and gets that equaliser just before half-time, giving Aston Villa the confidence going into the second half. Going into that second half, though, Ollie Watkins then gets the winner for Aston Villa. Nicely finished, bottom right-hand corner of the goalkeeper, and it finished 2-1. I had this game down as a draw. I thought they were both very good contested teams. Thought Spurs might want to bounce back from the 2 losses, but Aston Villa pick up the big 3 points there. And like I said, who knows? They might be in the Champions League next season, or definitely in Europe. So let's see. Next game, guys, is Everton versus Manchester United. And this finished 3-0 to Manchester United. Everton obviously wanted to go into this game proving a point that they do deserve to be in the Premier League, and they had a point to prove with the fans. They protested before the game against Premier League, obviously for the point deduction that they have received. But Manchester United had other plans. They actually scored the first goal within 3 minutes with a Garnacho goal, which is going to go down as potentially the goal of the season already. Rashford makes pass to Dalot, finds him very nicely, and Dalot crosses it in, and Garnacho gets probably one of the best overhead kicks I have ever seen, challenging Rooney's, challenging Bale's in the Champions League final, and challenging Ronaldo. It was just perfect, right on the foot, and then it went into top corner. Keeper had no chance of saving that, and it silenced those Everton fans for a minute. It was just an absolutely stunning goal. That made it 1-0. Later in the game, Everton kept pushing and pushing and pushing on United, but with Calvert-Lewin getting several chances, they should have took them chances. They had a good run for about 15-20 minutes, I'd say, Everton. And I just want to say here, Mr. John Madden, you asked for a shout-out, and it didn't go to plan, did it, mate? It did not go to plan for you. Later in the game, penalty was given to United. VAR overruled a simulation dive, yellow card for Martial, and Ashley Young made contact with the player, and it was given as a penalty. Was it a penalty? I think Martial did drag his leg, but he did definitely make contact, Ashley Young. So if you're on the receiving end of that penalty, you're going to ask for a penalty. If you're on the other team, you do not want that to be given as a penalty. So either way, you aren't going to be happy if you are on the receiving end of that. It could have gone either way, and I'd have accepted it. But it was given, and Rashford nicely finished that and put it into the top corner and made it 2-0. As for the third goal for Man United, that was a nice pass from Bruno, split the defence apart to Martial, and Martial, as he does best, the best part of Martial's game is his finishing, and he nicely slots it in one-on-one against the keeper, and that makes it 3-0, and United played very, very good football in terms of defensively and being more clinical. We took our chances. I said before in the preview that if United take the chances and defend well, we can finish this game and we'll win, and that's exactly what happened. One big mention in this game, though, is Kobe Mainoo. This guy started the game, his first ever start from the Premier League and from Man United. And what a game this guy had. The guy is only 17, 18, and he just made every other midfielder in that squad look like absolute rubbish. He looks like he's got time on the ball. He just played brilliantly, and I couldn't praise him anymore. Just everything about his game was perfect. I feel like off the ball we're very, very limited at the minute, and we need to do better off the ball. But if we can take our chances like we did in this game and defend like we are doing in the last few, Anana made a cracking save against I think it was Idrissa Gana Gueye. Great shot by him, but top corner, and Anana made a cracking save, like I said. And like I said, John, unlucky, mate, but 3 points go to United. The last game now, guys, and what a controversial one this one was. It is Wolves versus Fulham. This game in the last 6 games has had 2 goals every time in these fixtures, and this time we have a 5-goal thriller. It ended up being 3-2 to Fulham, and there was 3 penalties awarded in this game, and one of them being the most controversial of them all. But we'll get onto that later on. But this to start the game off, though, it will be actually open the goal scoring in this game to make it 1-0 in 7 minutes. Nice little tap in for Iwobi, easy goal, easy finish. But later on in the first half, Hwang Yi-chan does hit the crossbar with one of his chances. Obviously, he's one of their best goal scorers. He's got the top goal scorer this season for Wolves, playing very, very well, becoming a fan favourite for the fans. However, Kuna was the one player that got the equaliser for Wolves with a header at the back post, basically into an open net. All the defenders and keeper was too far across, and it opened, and just great header into the open space there and made it 1-1. Next up, though, Wolves in the second half just didn't cut it really, and they made contact with Fulham player in the box, and it was a very slight contact. He touched his toe. He's gone through the ball and it's caught onto the player. Unlucky for Wolves, the penalty was awarded, and Willian puts it to make it in 2-1 to Fulham. Later on, though, same on the other end. Ream takes out Hwang Yi-chan and gives a penalty slightly on the edge of the box, but I think it was the right decision to award the penalty rather than the free kick. And that was 2-2 because Hwang-Hee-Chan absolutely smashed that ball into the back of the net. And that made it 2-2, like I say. Again, Hwang-Hee-Chan being one of their top goal scorers this season. But the third goal, well, third penalty, should I say, in the fifth goal, the deciding goal in this game came to Fulham, and it was a 94th minute call. The Fulham player went down in the box, I think it was Wilson, went down in the box. No contact was made by the Wolves player. There was barely any contact. And he actually pulls out of the challenge because he believes that he could award, like, take out the player. So the fact that this was awarded, like, I'm shocked. The referee actually went to the screen to go and have a look at this. He didn't award it in the first place, and then he changed his mind when he went to the screen, as they always do. But like I said, very, very controversial decision to make. But it was finished by Willian, and it made it 3-2 to Fulham. And that is late on in the game, and Wolves could not do anything about it. And as I say, this is for Wolf games. If you're watching, unlucky, mate, because you had a great game there, and it looks like you was robbed, really. So points dropped for Wolves, and a big 3 points for Fulham. Obviously, helping them out at the end of the table. But the table will follow this, guys. That is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. We have finally got past the 1,000 subscriber mark, so let's keep it going. This is only the beginning of that. Get liking the video, get subscribing if you haven't already. Please keep helping out the channel, guys. I'm out. Goodbye.